You ever spend hours trying to find new t-shirt ideas just to find oversaturated niches? I've been there, don't get me wrong. I'm going to share with you 10 prompt ideas that I personally use to find these hidden POD niches. And no one's talking about this. And the most important thing is it's probably right in front of your face and you don't even know it. So let's go ahead and break down these very simple, easy prompt ideas to help you find your next bestseller. And if you get any value out of this video, make sure you smash that like button because it helps me create more content like this. Now, I want you to think about it as a different perspective. So think about it as a customer. And our goal is to find these micro communities which people are very passionate about. So instead of typing in, give me a t-shirt idea, I want you to think about it like this. List 10 hobbies on TikTok that are trending this month that aren't mainstream media. And that is gold right there. And this is why these type of prompt ideas work. ChatGPT to help us basically come up with these unique ideas. All right. I do have some notes right here because it's just some of the stuff that I'm going over. I definitely can't think about it off the top of my head, but these are some really good ideas and I want you to use this for your business. Okay. You can use this for your website. You can use this for if you're selling on Amazon merch, if you're leveraging, if you're doing KDP, if you're doing Etsy, Redbubble, it doesn't matter. Just print on demand in general. If you're creating a product or trying to think of a product or come up with a unique idea, taking these same concepts and maybe just rewording a little bit, okay, you can come up with something really good. So the first thing we're going to do is list 10 niche hobbies with active Facebook groups. Let's say about low Etsy listings. Something like this, okay? And then you can just, if you see something here, list 10 niche hobbies with active Facebook groups but low Etsy listings. Now think about it like this. Like it doesn't have to be Etsy. You can just be like, say like on Google, or you can say, instead of Facebook groups, say Reddit groups. Okay, little things that you can switch out. Instagram, or no, we'll just Reddit groups. Just different stuff like that. So if you can create something like this and reword it and then you can make it your own, you can definitely do that. So just thinking of different ideas that you could possibly use and do this so you can come up with just your own ideas, right? So go ahead and hit send and let that go ahead and populate for us. And this right here, I'm using the paid version, which is the $20 a month. It's the plus, right? Now, I'm not sure how much you can obviously test out a few different things with like the free version, right? But I use ChatGPT so much. I'm like, you know what? I got to pay for this. It just makes sense for me to do. So let's go ahead and see what it populates for us. And you're seeing how it's basically like going through everything and searching everything for us, which is really cool. It's like basically cross-checking the data and the information. So you're leveraging Facebook groups and Etsy. So you're cross-niching those two to get more of that validation. So keep that in mind. When you're doing any of this, you want to making sure that you're validating this. And it's basically, we're finding like passionate communities. That's the main goal. All right. I got like something like this, letterboxing. I would have even thought about something like this. Stamp carving, treasure hunts. Okay. Pin turning. Okay. Fly fishing. Teak fixed line fly fishing. Interesting. Tinkura. I'm not disc golf art. I never even knew that was a thing. See, amateur radio direction finding. RC submarines. Okay. Field herping. Reptiles. Okay. And urban exploration. Huh. And I feel like it's just so list 10 niches. So maybe even just you can fix this in a way. So if you're doing like I talk about a lot of t-shirt designs on this channel, right? But this is just niches in general. So keep that in mind. But that doesn't mean, so you're thinking about the niche in general. So this is like the main niche, right? So you're thinking about, okay, this worked for a t-shirt design, where this worked for me starting a new decorating dyeing disc and selling them on Etsy, stuff like that. Urban exploration. Magnet fishing. So it definitely gave us a few different ideas here. Now, let's say you want to click on, let's say this one right here. Let's see what happens. So it should bring us over here to the actual, yeah, okay. So you're seeing the disc golf dyers. Okay. You're seeing this. Look at, there's over 15,000 members. Obviously, I'm not in this group. If I was, right? But this is a good idea right here. This is pretty cool. So I didn't even think about something like that, but each one is basically grabbing the information for us, right? And then we click on this, bringing this over to the actual website for this one, for the Facebook group, the actual Facebook group. So you can see that. Pretty cool, huh? All right, now let's go ahead and so you can see how you can do something like that. Let's go ahead and move on to another one. And what we're going to do is what trending holidays or awareness days are growing year over year. And this is very big because when we look at something like this, we know that this is the very passionate. So trending holidays and awareness days. This is very big. So let's go ahead and hit the send over and see what it generates for us. Now, this is basically like time-based seasonal ideas. So you're seeing this right here. You have to make sure that you're on top of it. Give yourself a little bit of a leadway to create these certain types of designs, because when you're doing this, it's important you want to stay ahead, because if you're a little bit behind, you're going to miss the sales. But if you're ahead, you give yourself the best opportunity to rank into the algorithm and make sales. And then some of these ideas I've talked about already on my channel, which is pretty cool. Giving Tuesday, I haven't really talked about in the fact it's a Tuesday after US Thanksgiving. Interesting. Okay, and it's breaking down everything for us, right? Earth Hour, never heard of that. Heard of Earth Day. I've created some top best-selling designs over there. Small Business Saturday. It's interesting. Movember, Juneteenth. I've created some top-selling designs here. Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year. I believe that's what that is, right? Lunar New Year. I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure if that's good. I believe that's correct. I believe I've created a few top selling designs for this one. International Women's Day. This one seems to be a big one too. World Mental Health Day. This seems to be a big one. But you get the concept. You get the idea. The idea behind this right here is to find those hidden gems and like how we can go after certain ideas. And obviously it's telling us certain things that we can do right here as far as putting the phrases together and then come up with different ideas. Now, it's actually showing us some information, some data back results. Remember, like we can go out there and come up with ideas, but now we're like looking at the results and the data and the good information behind it to help us come up with different ideas. I feel like when it comes to something like this, we want to understand like what is going on, what is making, like what is trending, what are people buying, what are people passionate about? And that's the main goal behind this. So this is a good idea too as well. What trending holidays or awareness days are growing year over year. So keep that in mind. So the next one, we're moving on to the third prompt. Give me subcultures merging to two interests. So for example, okay, we're going to go ahead and use hiking plus astrology. Okay. Or let's say like hiking plus astrology. There's several different things, other things out there, maybe hiking plus something like that. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit send. And just basically taking two interests and how you can cross niche them. So think of something that you like. You are looking at the reviews, and when you look at these reviews, you see when people are actually like what they're saying in there and who they bought it for and why they bought it, right? So when you see this type of stuff, I think this is very important for you to understand that it's a very powerful when it comes to any of this. Now, do you think it searched all of Amazon's t-shirt listings in 41 seconds? I don't think it did. Let's try to do this again. Okay, let's see. Okay, analyze Amazon website. Let's try this again. Analyze that. Let's try that one more time. I feel like we should have had tons, like it should have been doing that for a few seconds. Now, right here, we're having a little bit of issues with the number 4 analyze the website because I wanted to go through the website and I wanted to look at the actual reviews, and it's not doing that for us for some reason. I thought this would be a really good one, a really good example to share in here, but it's definitely think it would be a really good idea to see exactly what it comes up with, and it's doing it pretty fast. We wanted to think. Let me try that one. Try one of the different other modes. Somewhat a little bit better. For example, I bought it as a joke. Now I actually wear it. That's not a bad idea for a t-shirt design. Instant conversation starter. Okay, that's not a bad idea. Got so many compliments. I think that might work, but I think it's made so like some of these are actually but they're just like complimenting and leaving a review about the actual design, not grabbing the actual idea. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and skip ahead. But if you come up with anything or any concept or any idea, please share it with me down below, because I think this will be a good idea as far as coming up with different ideas and humorous jokes from looking at the reviews on Amazon, right? So there's obviously tens of thousands of as far as looking at the reviews, right? That's the main goal. So next, we're going to be looking at show 5 viral TikTok topics that mention personal gifts. Let's go ahead and hit the send on that one. Now this is more going to be with more like social trend stuff, like you're looking for different ideas based off of viral stuff happening on TikTok, and this is a big way to find those ideas, right? You know, that 6-7 idea, right? It's trending all over TikTok, different concepts, different ideas. Very powerful way to find ideas. Now, so what we have over here is we've typed in show 5 of viral TikTok topics that mention personalized gifts. Okay, so when we look at something like this is so custom pet portraits, that's a big one. Personalized jewelry, we know that's big. Soundwave voice messages, plaques with QR playback, interesting. So it's just breaking all this stuff down for us. Also looking at TikTok for business and finding those trending hashtags. If you can find something like that would be very powerful. And then you can grab something like this, come over here to like TikTok. If you're not following me on TikTok, go follow me on TikTok, by the way. We search over here, we'll search that custom gifts. You can do it this way too. And then just go down. Get some really cool stuff over here. Okay. Remember, the more passionate you are with your gifts, the more, you know, like certain things like this, the more you're gonna get people's attention. And that's 6-7 that we're talking about right there. See? The ice cream, little sprinkle, 6-7. Okay, so keep that in mind when look at this so cool one. Like anything with pets, portraits, and it's breaking it down right here for us too. You're gonna see that. There was that glass music plaque that we just seen right up here. It's showing some of the stuff right here, right? Okay, which is cool. Sound wave, voice message plaques with QR, something like that. Custom pet portraits. I go over a lot of that stuff right here on the channel too. Personalized jewelry. This is a lot of this stuff too. All this stuff is really good right here. So just thinking of different ideas and even just typing in 5 viral TikTok topics that mention personalized gifts this month, this week. Okay, and then it will come up with different ideas. I think this is a really cool idea as far as coming up with different stuff behind it, right? So find hobby. So number 6, find hobbies people start after 40 that involve a community. Okay, this is big because you're starting a community. You say, for example, a Facebook group, Reddit, or any type of community you can possibly think of, and this will be a really good idea. So let's hit the send and let's see what this populates. We're on number 6. We're working our way to number 10. And one thing too, right now, just right off the back, pickleball is big. Where I live at, they just recently started. I have a pickleball little area in my community, and then there's basketball, but then they started building more pickleball courts for people to play. This is cool because I'm just like, huh, okay, that's really cool. Now, literally going down this whole list right here is a gold mine. Okay, so we have pickleball, social running, walk clubs, hiking clubs, dragon boat, kayak paddling, community choir. Okay, amateur photography, community theater, ballroom. So different dancing, masters swimming, cycling, bike riding, gardening. You can see book clubs, tabletop gaming, birding groups, amateur radio, volunteering, quilting, symmetric. I think I said that right. Chess and strategy clubs and recreational rowing. Interesting. A ton of different stuff here. Okay. Now, just so many different ways that you can approach these right here. Different angles, different concepts. And I think it's just more of understanding everything right here, targeting like a demographic and people that buy in these groups right here. So if they're going to be doing book clubs, obviously they're going to need to just think about like stuff that they'll be using, what they'll be buying to go to the book clubs. Let's say over here, photography seems like a very expensive hobby. They're obviously investing into different stuff right there. Hiking clubs, right? Different shoes. I can see that working. Funny shirts. I can see that working. Pickleball. Different gear, your equipment, funny shirts. I can see that working. Just think of different stuff right here, that these are all different ideas that you can approach and create unique products for people. All right, next would be, so what products are popular among teachers, nurses, and truckers? So when it comes to stuff like this, think of like different occupations, right? So we're thinking of occupations and like niches. So teachers, nurses, truckers, like people that are doing stuff to help the world go around, right? Usually are the people that don't mind spending money on stuff that they need. Okay. So you can see exactly what they're doing here. So personalized tote bags, lanyards, stampers, dry erase markers, pins. Like I reviewed some of this stuff the other day, right, from one of my other review businesses. Pin sleeves, like this is all cool. Like anything with drinkware, desk, nameplates, tumblers, coffee mugs, sticky notes, clipboards, all that stuff is graphic tees. This is all people, they're all buying this type of stuff. Okay, and then it's showing us like good stuff here. This is really solid stuff right here. As far as looking at this is solid stuff when it comes to different slogans, right? And then nurses, it's like breaking down like badge reels, okay, lanyards, pin lights, silicone watch, compression socks, tumblers, water trackers. There's a ton of different stuff right here, okay? Ton of apparel. They're buying stuff over here, card inserts. And then come down a little bit more, road gear. Look at this, safety, maintenance, LED stuff. There's so many different stuff right here. Hats, beanies, hoodies, tees, stainless travel mugs. It goes on and on. There's a ton of good stuff right here. So this is an actual good way to come into here and analyze. And then this is the person I'm going to be designing for. What do they like? So just taking it a little bit step further. Now, the next one, we're going to go ahead and give me 10 causes or movements Gen Z is passionate about in 2025. Now, we're going a little bit more with the emotional, like trending niche ideas. Okay. We got 2 more to go. 3 more. Let that go ahead and populate for us. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to just use this in ChatGPT. You can use it in Gemini, right? And you can use it like in Grok. Okay, so these are just different ideas that you can use and just come up with different like niche ideas, right? The main goal is to help you with your own niche research with this video, right? And then if you can leverage any type of tools or anything, you can with these different ideas, so you can actually go cross check, right? And find that demand, because the goal is obviously to find all the data. We need the data to make sense for what we're looking for, right? Now let's come over here. Climate action and water resilience. Okay. Mental health access. Okay. Stigma reduction. Cost of living and housing affordability, gun violence prevention, okay, reproductive rights, LGBTQ plus equality and trans rights, digital privacy, online safety and AI ethics, worker power, fair pay and modern unions, racial justice and equality, and then sustainable fashion and anti-fast fashion consumption. Okay, so now this probably we're digging in a little bit deeper. Okay, we're digging a little bit deeper here, which is good, because now we're getting a little bit more passionate and emotional with these niches. Now, when it comes with emotional and niche ideas and design concepts, and maybe you understand this more than anyone else that you're watching this. I feel like something like this is a really good idea, especially if you can relate to it. If you can relate to it and design to it or come up with a unique idea, it's a good idea for you, because at the end of the day, if you can create something that triggers like an emotional reaction to somebody in a good way, right? Obviously, you can obviously create some type of money behind it, a product what people want to buy, and make tons of money behind it. And obviously, you're doing it for the good, right? With good intentions. And if you do it that way, you can help people out there. And if you're helping people out there, most of the time, if you're doing it, there's money to be made. So keep that in mind when you're doing any of this stuff. The goal is to what? Understand the person that's buying it, right? And we're just giving us a good amount of information with this prompt right here. We're giving us a good amount of information and thought about it for 1 minute and 13 seconds, which is pretty good. And then as we're doing this right here, we're taking it to that next level because you're understanding what they want or understanding what people are looking for. And then if you understand, that is one way you can make money. Very powerful. Emotional, tying an emotion and then creating something behind it. Okay. Now, with 2020, the pandemic, now we're going to go ahead and sell a list of 5 hobbies people can do indoor that exploded post-pandemic. So we'll go ahead and hit that send button. So something that is obviously, it's bigger than ever right now. I want to say, throw this out there, pickleball. We already touched on that niche, but it was, okay. I love it. I love it. Okay. This one right here, home coffee brewing. That's obviously, it's a big one because I think I got a coffee machine at home in 2023, one of those ones, right? And the only reason I did it was because we were going to the coffee shops with my girlfriend a lot, and there's a lot of money being spent going to the coffee shops. I was like, you know what? Let me invest into this $1,200 machine, and then I can do a review behind it. And if I can do a review behind it, and my home barista at home and doing espressos, it'll be some really cool stuff. And then obviously that the benefits from having an espresso machine and getting that good espresso out and creating some cool coffees. So yeah, I can see this definitely working right here. House plant, this is definitely right here. Especially like right here, especially tiny like communities like this right here. I'm actually in a few communities on Reddit with different espresso machines, home barista, stuff like that. It's a very big community. Facebook plants, groups. Okay, this one right here. I feel like this one's pretty cool right here when it comes to that. I think this is really cool. And then crafting, this right here, I can see a lot of people doing more and more of this at home. Okay, community, you can see the community there. Home fitness is big too, because we know when everything closed down, people were started to learn to do workouts from home, stuff like that. The Peloton, I think that's how you say it. Or people are tracking a lot of more fitness from their watches or just at home workouts, stuff like that. Puzzles and tabletop gaming, board game cafes, open nights. This is pretty cool. You can see stuff like this. Me personally, I do a lot of gaming for my computer at home. So that's something that I enjoy at nighttime when I'm winding down. Like after creating this video, like I'm gonna wind down and play some video games, just relax, right? And then move on to the next day. But this is really good stuff right here. This is all good information. Okay, and I feel like if any of this stuff relates to you, leave a comment down below so I can understand exactly as far as insights, stuff like that. What are you doing from home that it's like maybe there's something a hobby that's something that you enjoy, and then you're catching like you're doing to relax or your own hobbies that you enjoy. This is something that I personally like to do and to mess around with a lot. And then I think I do a lot of home fitness stuff. I work out when I go to the gym. I have my gym right around the corner. I just walk over there to the gym and work out and stuff like that. So stuff like that. I track a lot of my steps for the day to make sure I get my steps in. Try to watch as much as I eat throughout the day too as well. Tracking a lot of that. So just give you insight for me personally. Maybe something like that you can relate. Maybe you're doing some tabletop gaming or anything like that, which is pretty dang cool. All right. Next one, the 10th one, and the final prompt. What are people complaining about in Reddit threads related to hobbies? This is interesting. This one is interesting. And then you can switch out the Reddit, Facebook groups, YouTube comments, anything like that. Okay, just putting your own flip on it. I feel like something like this is a really big thing right here. This is interesting. So gatekeeping, newbies unwelcome, wrong gear, wrong, or hobby was better before it went mainstream. I feel like a lot of this stuff right here, especially like in the gaming world or just even like in the business world too as well, when someone's making money and you share it with people, people get mad because you share how to, you teach them how to do this, you teach them how to do that, and then people think that you're gate, or some people get mad because they want you to gatekeep. And if the new person asks a question and no one knows, or they try not to understand it, I feel like it comes, when it comes to this, it's important because the people do a lot of this. And at the very beginning, I feel like we all are newbies. Okay. And I feel like to this day, to me personally, I'm still a newbie. There's certain things I don't understand. So I'll go in and research it myself and test it, see if it works. So when it comes to this, I feel I'm not a big fan of people being mean to people when they have a question about a certain thing, like a certain topic or something like that. I think this is very important. I do respect a lot of this because I think there's no such thing as a dumb question. If someone has a question, right? Some people run out of patience, right? And some people just learn how to understand over the years. Me, I'm patient, been very patient over the years. But as far as creating content, stuff like that, yeah, there's definitely, I do have to take this break. I'm a human being, I have to take a break. But then when people, someone that new comes in that has a question, try my best as possible to give them an answer that they can understand. Now, with this right here, it's all about testing at the end of the day. I feel like when it comes to gatekeeping, to just have a mainstream, it obviously, with everything, there's a lot of competition in everything right now. Okay. But the thing is, like, how are you going to put your own flip on it to be different from everyone else? Okay. And everything just, yeah, that's what it is. The way the world is working right now, and it's getting crazier and crazier, but at the same time, there's always a way. Everything is too expensive. Huh. Interesting right here. Over recommending pricey gear to beginners. I can see people doing that because everything, as far as everything is too expensive. I know things are like $2 more than what they are before 2 years ago or a year ago. And then everything is obviously, there comes and price increases with everything, right? Just everything increases. Like you go to a restaurant, things are a little bit more expensive, or you go to a certain restaurant, you're like, oh, this is not the right price. I'm not paying that for that. I'm a big fan of that. Okay. When understanding if it's a deal or not a deal. If I'm going to go get a carne asada burrito, I don't want to spend $15 for a carne asada burrito. I don't mind spending $10 to $12 for a carne asada burrito. That's just an example. And this right here, understanding as far as over recommending pricey gear to beginners. As a beginner, you got to do your research and understand that as you do something new, it's your due diligence to understand what you're buying and what you're going to be using it for. So you don't want to buy something that you're not going to use, right? So you have to understand what you're going to be buying. Analyst paralysis and slow turns board games. Okay, I'm not sure what that means exactly. IP ruins the fun, quarterbacking, long teach times. Supply production delays, group buys, or pre-orders. Okay. Beginner hostile maintenance, headaches, 3D printing. Huh. I tried to buy a 3D printer and it was all messed up one time. All right. But I think it's a really good niche to actually start a business in because there's a ton of stuff that you could do right there. Okay. And you can even just put your phone on live and just watch people just watch your 3D printer print. And you can leverage that. Pests, recurring house plants. Huh. Okay. That's something I don't know about. Communities drifting to hype. Maybe you do. Okay. I'm not trying to pass it up and I don't know, but okay. Communities drifting to hype gear, talk over actual making. Okay. You see everything here. Rules, clarifying, and learning curves. Okay. Board games, vendor marketing, drama, moderation, spats. Okay. There we go. So now you're seeing, we went over 10 different ideas right here. I'll grab all those prompts, all the prompts that I put in right here. I'm going to put that down below in the description of this video so you can have access to them. So there's some really good stuff right here as far as understanding everything that I just went over. Ton of good stuff, right? From stuff that we probably never even would have thought about. Okay. But unless you do research, you understand this stuff. And the goal is to do research. You want to do really good research because if you're not doing really good research, you're going to fall behind because I know this. All right. So making sure that you guys are getting value out of this, make sure you smash that like button because I did take a little bit of time to create this video. You can see the amount of effort I put into this. Okay. Hopefully you're enjoying it too so far. All right, so you know how to validate your results. Keep in mind, AI gives you the ideas, but the data confirms them. Okay, so if we type in something into the search bar, for example, right? Are you staring at my balls, pickleball, right? So if we type something in like this, right? It's going to give us a result of 219. Now, the goal is to find this, get this number right here as low as possible, because if we create a design, okay. So something like this, are you staring at my balls? And it has two pickleballs right there. And I feel like you can make another design where you have the two pickleballs there and then you have the paddle like in the middle with the stick, kind of give you an idea. You can mess it like right here. So the two balls will be in the front and then the paddle will go through the middle to give it that funny idea behind it. But when we come down here and we're looking at this, we lose sight of what's going on here. So we're seeing like that phrase starts to disappear. Okay, now if we go over, let's say we go to page 3, it goes to 258, right? And then it shows like more of pickleballs itself. So this right here, this is a good idea, a good example of a low competition, but then you're validating it. The lower this search result, the better, because that means if you create a design, you're most likely, if you make a sale, you're going to start to rank closer to that front page, right? Now, some designs, like if you get really low competition, you'll be organically ranking on that front page. And then what happens if you rank organically on that front page, you will start to generate more and more sales. Now, with this right here being said, making sure that you're always double checking for trademarks or copyrights, right? I'm just showing you this example of what's going on right here. So looking at certain things like this and coming up with different ideas, using the search bar in the autocomplete, you can see how it populates different ideas up here, right? So you'll see if I go back, let's go up a bit. I start to type stuff in, it starts to auto complete, right? Which is really cool. But you can see, what we're doing here, auto completes, and then you type that in, then it pops into the search bar. And then you can see I was looking for some different stuff. So pickle boo, for example, let's click on that. You're seeing we have a result of 912, but you look down and there's a ton of different, because this is probably something that is performing pretty well right now, the BSRs, because of Halloween. So mixing like different holidays and a niche together, which we covered in this video and we talked about. I feel like when you do something like that, it's very powerful, because then you start to write these trends and you're seeing like these have BSRs. Okay, you look at the BSRs, Amazon gives us BSRs to show us the demand. We leverage that to find the demand over here. So there are a few different ways you can leverage this, but you can see the different designs, the different everything that's being created over here. But just going down that whole rabbit hole of understanding how to research and do stuff like that, this is a big game changer. And this is how you create designs, for example, right here, or how you find products. So let's say if you're not creating a design for a t-shirt, you're creating a design for a tumbler, or if you're creating a design you're looking for that phrase, if it's on a pickleball or something like that, right? An actual pickleball, you can literally just go through that whole process of validating by using the Amazon search bar and just going down that whole rabbit hole. So this is how you validate, by looking where you look forward to find something for different ideas, stuff like that, validating and leveraging the Amazon search bar. All right, so I'm in the back end of Kittl. So what I did was I went over here to the Kittle AI feature, and I went ahead and created a few different designs to give you the idea of the whole process. And I came up with a pickle boo in a few different ways. So I did like pickle boo, like with the pickle ball, right? And then pickle, when they look what it did here, there's a little wiffle ball right there, little ball right there, and it has a different ghost right there with the pickle paddles. And then there's basically pickleball theme, ghost, Halloween, and then it's like funny saying pickle boo, right? Look at this one too as well. Pretty cool, right? Those two are very similar right here. And if you click on each one, you'll see the prompt that I put in. Okay, and like this one too as well. Let me click on that one. See that? And you can recreate any of these over here, which is really cool. Same thing with this. See what I did there. Prompt idea there, and then this one too, you can see what I did there. And I feel like this one is really cute. Okay, pickle boo. I think basically it's not pickleball, but it's just a ghost holding a jar of pickles with a little bat. I think this is a really cute one. Okay, it's probably my favorite one out of all of these, I think. Okay, my personal opinion. Let me know your favorite one down below in the comments. But you can see how I use Kittl right here to my advantage. You can do a lot of stuff back here. You can edit, you can add your own text, you can leverage different models of different AI models right here, from Ideogram to Nano Banana, Chat GPT. Pretty cool stuff. And then look how simple it is. You can upscale, vectorize, remove background, reframe, whatever you want to do. But if, for example, if I wanted to remove this background, Look at that. Simple, easy. And then I can just download it straight to my computer in that Merch by Amazon t-shirt mock-up. And then I click on it. And well, let me get those off the actual board and resize it over here. Okay, you can see how easy that is, which is really cool. And then if you need to upscale it, you can upscale it if you need to, right? Which is all done inside of here. So let's say there's good. And then I hit download, it goes to the computer, look at it, and boom. See how easy that was? It's ready to upload, and I can just bring it over to Amazon. It's ready to upload. But that's pretty cool how I went over here, took the concept, got the whole idea, and put it all together, and I created a, 5 different designs, different ideas, different concepts, and it's all ready to go. Pretty cool. And if you want to test out Kittl, that's going to be down below in the description. Everything I'm using in this video is down below in the description. So the next time you're stuck, I don't want you to ask AI for design ideas. I want you to teach it like your customer. If you want access to over 1,500 research niches and 20 new niches every single week from here on out, I want you to check out the top research design vault, and that's going to be down below in the description. And also comes with different prompt ideas for those niches. So if you're using any type of image generator, this will help you understand how to create those design ideas for your products. And drop a comment down below if you want me to create a more advanced prompt idea. And this will be a part 2 of this video. And we'll just dive in a little bit deeper about how to create these prompt ideas so you can find those golden niches for your business to create your next bestseller to make you over $100 a month from one design. And that's the goal with this video. And if you want to see how I create unique prompt ideas, watch this video right here next. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out.